in a really, really shocking, somewhat semi-upset. Wasn't necessarily a huge upset, but definitely an upset for sure. And definitely not an upset in exactly how it turned out. Akira Yaegashi, now former IBF flyweight champion, got absolutely destroyed in the first round against Milan Melindo, who was ostensibly the interim champion. He defeated Tirapong Taira this past year in was it November or December, in order to become the interim champion, because Yaegashi wasn't sure if he was going to move back up in weight to try and fight either at 112 or even at 115. He was toying around with trying to fight at 115 and become a full-weight champion, but I'm not sure if those plans may have been scuttled, or if maybe those plans have been like absolutely revived, simply because of the fact that the way Yaegashi looked in there against Melindo, he looked like he must have had a bad weight cut, because and this isn't trying to take anything away from Melindo. Melindo did his damn thing. I mean, the first two shots that he caught Yaegashi with, he hurt him. He hurt him bad. He dropped him. He hit him with a left hook, right cross counter. A nice counter two-piece, as Yaegashi was kind of going forward, trying to set up the jab and then come around with the right hand after it. But Yaegashi, I don't know, his movements, they didn't look right to me. He didn't look quite like he had his feet properly steady under him, his legs properly steady under him. His punches really lacked snap. He tends to be like a very explosive, almost like a Sean Porter, or like a, like think of any other fighter that kind of likes to flurry, like throw punches and bunches, like a Sean Porter, like a Carlos Cuadras, somewhat, like David Benavidez kind of turned out yesterday against Rogelio Porky Medina. Just like, he's looking to rattle off those combinations, get in, get out, and kind of rough you up as well. Like pressure you, rough you up. But here against Melindo, it's like he was like trying to be a little bit finessed about it, which I could definitely imagine him doing. He's done that before in the past, and Melindo isn't necessarily known as just a monster puncher. He's a sharp puncher, and he definitely has fairly heavy hands, but not like an outright knockout artist or anything. But I mean, he definitely looked the part here against Yaegashi. I mean, he dropped him with, like I said, with that first combo, came back out after Yaegashi got up. Dropped him with another right hand, and then finally dropped him with another combination. And that was pretty much all she wrote. And the look on Yaegashi, I think, said it all. I mean, Yaegashi looked like shocked, looking up at the ref after that third knockdown. He just looked like a man that didn't know why his body reacted the way that it did. I mean, the thing is, Yaegashi is a guy that I've seen take some absolutely hellacious shots from really good fighters in the past, really big punchers. I mean, Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez, he took some of Gonzalez's best stuff before eventually getting stopped by Gonzalez. I'm trying to remember exactly what round that was in. I think it was like the 7th or the 8th. Or was it I'm trying to think. Actually, I'm looking it up now. It was in the 9th round. Then he got KO'd by Pedro Guevara, who himself, is a pretty hard and sharp puncher. I think still one of the best at 108 to this day. And other than that, I mean, he went 12 rounds with Kazuto Ioka and was a Fight of the Year candidate. Ioka's an absolutely murderous puncher, especially at 105. I mean, he was absolutely fierce. I mean, he was truly like hitting his stride around that time. And I mean, especially the body punches, absolutely nasty. But I mean, really just surprising, really, really surprising result for what happened here between Yaegashi and Melindo. I'm thinking maybe the cut might have been bad for Yaegashi. I mean, he definitely has looked bigger, generally speaking, than he had in years past. I mean, even when he was initially at 108. I mean, to me, like when he went up to 112, he dropped back down to 108 simply because he felt like he couldn't be competitive at 112 against the likes of Chocolatito and Estrada and such. But I mean, I think 112 is a little bit more open now, so maybe he might decide to go back up. I think that might actually be better for his body, just be better in giving him a better chance at winning or something. But I don't know, or who knows? Maybe it just might be over for him. It might be his legs might just not be there anymore. The reflexes might not be there anymore, because just the way he reacted to those punches was shocking. Like I wouldn't have imagined him a couple or 3 years ago reacting that badly to shots from Melindo, who isn't an outright knockout artist. He's a pretty good puncher, but not just bang you out of there type fighter. But I mean, hey, props to Melindo. He did the damn thing. This has to be really the single best win of Melindo's career. I mean, he's had some other definitely very solid wins, not And it's kind of funny because it seems like some of Melindo's best wins have actually been in non-title fights against world championship level opposition. The win that he had over Saul Juarez, the win that he had over I'm trying to think which other fighter. I'm blanking on his name now. Francisco Rosas was actually a really good one as well. Of course, he tends to be a little bit more well known for his losses to Juan Francisco Estrada and Javier Mendoza. Jose Tecoputla, no, that was a pretty good one too. The one over Tirapong Utaida just recently was excellent also. I mean, Utaida had been on a nasty little tear up until that point. But, man, Melindo just did the damn thing against Yaegashi. And I'm wondering exactly who his first opponent's going to be. I mean, he was the mandatory, so it looks like he doesn't necessarily have any sort of mandatory to go up against. And considering that he pulled off this big shocking upset knockout victory in Japan, I'd imagine that that things may be able to fall into place for Melindo to maybe potentially have a unification in Japan. I mean, I think that'd be really, really excellent. I was talking earlier about the possibility of some nice unifications happening at 108, considering the fact that Japan had at the time had all of a sudden been taken over by Japanese fighters. Amongst Kosei Tanaka with the WBO, Ryoichi Taguchi with the WBA, and Kenshiro with the WBC. But hey, maybe they can get Melindo versus Shiro, unless Shiro has to fight his mandatory Pedro Guevara next, which might be possible. It looks like Tanaka and Taguchi are going to be doing some things this fall, which I think is really excellent, really interesting fight between those two. So I mean, if that doesn't necessarily happen, I did see Randy Petokore, former title challenger himself. I think he might have been a interim champion, actually. Matter of fact, can't think off the top of my head exactly if he had been or not. But Petokore, I think, would be a good opponent. A fellow Filipino. I think they could probably have a pretty solid fight in the Philippines. You got Heki Butler out there, former strawweight champion. Carlos Canizales, who just recently gave Ryoichi Taguchi all he could handle. I think would be a solid test for Melindo. But I mean, just all in all and otherwise, Melindo did the damn thing. Really impressive victory for him. And let's see what he's able to do with this nice new belt and new run that he has. He's definitely worked very hard for it, and he finally managed to get it. After the couple of years of slight missteps against other world champions like Estrada and Mendoza, as I already mentioned. But solid win for Melindo, man. Good job to him, and I will catch you guys in the next one, which will probably be Naoya Inoue versus Ricardo Rodriguez review. So, peace.